Hello, everyone. I wanted to take just a few minutes to talk about a technique that we have been working on this week that is maybe new to some of you. Maybe some of you have been doing this work for a very long time. But this week is all about doing that deep clean and diving deep and finding, we've been working on first monitoring our DJ, seeing where it likes to run to and hide and cause problems and dig things out of closets and all kinds of things. And then we said, you know what, we're going to identify these things, identify these boxes. And we started listening to the records, the thoughts that DJ likes to play a lot. We started looking at the different situations and people that brought those up. And now this week, we're taking it one step further and we're going to be digging down into the bottom of those boxes and to see why DJ has such a big reaction to some of the things that happen in its current life, in its everyday life. Anytime we're having an overreaction or a big reaction, it's because it's not just the thing that is happening now, it's a deeper fear that has been building for years and years and years, has been left unnoticed, undealt with, unhealed, and when something pokes that, a much bigger reaction than is probably justified in that moment happens. So maybe one person, two people could be going through the exact same event, and one person has this major overreaction. The other person sees what's happening, doesn't like it, but doesn't have the same or equal reaction that the other person does. So the other person had a bigger reaction because they have a wound there. They have a box in their closet somewhere that has a deeper fear that was triggered, that was poked, that a wound that was dug into by this thing that is happening. So what we're doing is we're finding all of those things within you, all those places within you that cause those bigger emotional reactions and keep you wound up in that situation for days and months or whatever, how long you're staying there. And we're healing those so that you can be like the person who just saw what was happening, remained calm and was able to think through it and be able to just deal with it in a rational, logical way. And you weren't. So I'm just saying there's a reason why you weren't. And that is the work that we're doing this week, is to find out why you have those reactions, why something brings up so much anger in you, why something brings up so much insecurity. So we started out by, like I said, monitoring DJ and then finding and labeling those records that play out of those boxes. And this week we're digging deep into the box to find the fear that causes not only the overreaction is just a clue, just the side effect, a symptom of the deeper problem, and the deeper problem is the fear at the bottom of the box. I gave you at the beginning of the week an ebook called The Better Belief Book, and I believe that was on day 17 that you received the book. And yes, there it is there. And then what I want you to know about this book is that this is just another tool in your toolbox. I'm not expecting you, because this is a process all of its own, okay? You can use this ebook to help you work through things, to help you understand things. So this is separate. This is kind of a bonus for the course that we're in. But the reason that I wanted to give you this book is not so you could stop what you're doing and just do what was suggested in the ebook, but because in this ebook contains a list of emotions that I wanted us to use because it will help guide you to digging deeper, to finding this fear through using these emotional clues. So if we look here, this was yesterday's work. This was, I believe, the day 19. I could be wrong about that. But anyway, this is where we are up to date. And on page 8 or 9, and this is a very good tool, by the way, that you can use if you choose to. And you can go back to that at a later time. But this is the worksheet the whole purpose I gave you this ebook. So in your exercises over the past 2 days, I have had you look at this worksheet, and I've asked you to ask yourself, do I have any of these? And if I do, how often? How often would I say that I feel this feeling? Maybe once a week, once a month, once a year, once a never. And if it's something that you're having, say, if you rated it at a 7, maybe you're having this is a daily occurrence, then I wanted you to, or daily or weekly maybe, occurrence, I wanted you to say, okay, well, what is the current experience that keeps poking at this wound? What is it? And then to think through that and write that here, or in your journal, or wherever you want to write it down. And then to say, okay, well, after I wrote that down and I wrote the record that was playing, if I read that back, when is a time in my childhood when I would have thought those exact same words and had those exact same feelings? And you were looking for a scene that you can remember, a memory that you can remember where it's very similar to the same words that you're saying now in your current experience. So the emotion is the clue, the feeling that you're feeling is the clue, and the record or the thoughts that you're having about these feelings is the little trail that you will follow that will help you see an aspect of yourself at a certain age, a memory, where you would have also said those exact things. So I will give you an example, but before I do that, I want to just go through here. So say you're reading this list and you're like, nope, I don't feel that, I don't feel that, I don't feel that. Oh, okay, well, there's one. And how often do I feel it? I would say maybe 5 or 6 or 7 or so. And then you would say, okay, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to stop right here at lack of confidence. And I'm going to, there's a box. We're going to label it lack of confidence here. And I want to see what the current experience is. Okay, well, the current experience is whatever the experience is. And then what are the thoughts? What do I think when I'm thinking about that experience? They never do this. I never do that. This always happens. I can't seem to speak up for myself. I can't assert myself. I let people walk all over me. I let people have their way all the time. Whatever it is, you write those sentences down. And then you look in your childhood and say, let me reread those sentences, those words that I just said, and see if there's a time in my childhood where I would have said those exact same things and also felt the exact same feelings. Okay, they always get their way. I let people walk all over me. They take advantage of me. I can't assert myself. So you're thinking back to a time in your childhood where you would have said those exact words. That is the scene that we're looking for. That when you go to the meditation, releasing the pain of the past, that's the scene that you're going to be working through. Everybody in that scene, whether it was a childhood friend on the playground, whether it was a cousin, a sibling, a parent, whoever's in the scene with you, that's who you're going to freeze, put in the freeze frame and pause the scene and say, okay, these are the people I need to address right now. Because back in the day, I didn't know how, I was scared and I didn't know how to assert myself and I didn't have confidence in myself. I didn't know who I was. I was just a kid and I didn't know why they were treating me like this and I didn't know what to do. So now is your chance to do that. So you're kind of going back into the past And you're saying, now is my opportunity to help this little DJ be able to express and to say everything it needed to say back then, and to have them say things that they never said. Have them apologize. We always think, oh, well, DJ's wrong. DJ shouldn't have thought that. DJ shouldn't have felt that. DJ's not always wrong. Like, lots of times, kids are very correct in their assumptions of things. Like, they're very correct in when people are being mean to them and people are being unkind, and they're right on. Like, yeah, you're right. They were not being kind to you. And it's when we dismiss that DJ that we don't validate those feelings for it, to say, you know what, they were mean to you, and you had every right to be upset. And I'm sorry that you didn't get to express that, because they manipulated you and said, I'm not going to play with you anymore if you don't do what I ask you to do, or if you don't do it my way, or if you disagree with me. So, you learned then to go through life altering your behaviors because of that one incident. So those are the unwanted behaviors that tagged along with you. You don't want to do that anymore. You want to be able to say, you know what, I don't want to do that without any fear. You want to be able to say, I don't like when you treat me this way, and I don't want to stay here around that. It's nothing personal. It's just you need, you got some issues, and I wish you luck with those. And I hope you get tidy your mind, and I hope your DJ gets some help, but I don't have to I don't have to sit here. I can go enjoy myself. So it's those type of things, those unwanted behaviors, that you finally get free from when you're able to go dig in the box, take that DJ, rewind that scene from the past, and correct it. Let that DJ hear that apology. Let that DJ be able to express itself. And then that gives it the freedom to heal. That gives it the validation of, you know what, I wasn't crazy. This was happening to me. And I was being used. I was being manipulated. I was being whatever it was. And to say, you don't have to, that wasn't you. There was nothing wrong with you. That person doing it was the damaged one, and they just passed it along to you. So correcting these things goes a whole long way to resolving the unwanted behaviors. You must have the release, the cleaning up the programming that happened. You must clean and erase all of that stuff before you're going to see the change in that unwanted behavior and see the freedom that comes from correcting that time in your life. So you found one. There it is. And then you're done for the day, okay? Then you come back the next day to this list and say, okay, well, I cleaned that box up yesterday. Now, unworthiness, do I feel that? No. Embarrassment? No. Self-esteem? No. Unwanted. Bingo. There's one. There's a box. Okay. Let me get in there. All right. How often do I feel that? That's, sometimes daily. Who triggers that? Oh, this person in my life. I have no earthly idea if they want me one day and don't want me the next day. Explain the situation, find those thoughts that you think, find the record, find the audio that plays. I don't, it's so unpredictable. Sometimes they act like they do, sometimes they act like they don't. Then you come in here, childhood memory. What's a childhood memory where everything was unpredictable? Sometimes they did, sometimes they did. I never knew what I was going to get from one day to the next. Some days they wanted to love me and hug me, and some days they wouldn't even look at me, or they would send me away to play somewhere else, or I never knew. I never knew from one day to the next. So you're looking for first the emotional clues, then you're looking for the records that play that will send you down the trail, down memory lane, to find that memory that is very, very similar to what you're feeling in your current circumstance. So you clear that box up. You're done for the day. And then you're going to keep going, working down through this list. Now, I tried to cover as many as I possibly could, but there will be some that I didn't include here. So if you find one and say, oh, that's not on the list, but I sure do feel that a lot, go with that. It doesn't have to be on my list just, to make it true. Like, I'm not perfect, of course. I can't think of all of them. So if you've come up with one and you're like, yeah, let me know about it, and then I can add it, because there's probably other people out there that also have been feeling the same thing. So that's basically it. I wanted to give you guys a little more clarity on how we're doing this work, and because I know, I can give instructions, written instructions, and I can say it a million different ways, and it's still sometimes hard to understand. Well, what exactly are we doing with this exercise? How are we digging deep in the bottom of the box? So I hope this has given you some clarity, and if not, I will try again, and I will say it in a different way next time. And I also wanted to say, no matter where you are in your process, it's good. You know what? If you're on day 1, day 3, I do not care. This content is yours forever, so you can take your time and work through it, and we'll just take it as it comes. Some of these things take much longer than, I try to give you stuff that you can pace each day, but sometimes you can get stuck in an area and you really need to spend more time there. You need to spend more time with that DJ, and I would much rather you do that and quote unquote get behind. You're not really behind. This is your process. So there is no behind. This is your process. So I'd much rather you stay there and work with that DJ for as long as it takes than to rush through to the next step. Okay, so make sure you're giving DJ enough time to be able to process things instead of just saying, nope, sorry, you've had enough time with that. We've got to move on. It's day 13 now. You can't be, staying in this spot in the journey. It's like, no, I want you to take your time with this. There is no rush, and this is personal, and it's how everyone is progressing in their own time is what matters to me. So that is it, and I hope this helps. And again, go back to this better belief after this 30 days or whenever you'd like. It's kind of a different teaching, but it's still all the same. It's all the same stuff said in a different way to try to get you to the same point. So hopefully saying the same thing in different ways will reach more and more people so that they can tidy their minds and find some moments of relaxation and then start to experience that joy. I hope all of you have a terrific day.